Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome to the beautiful rebrand, Revolutionary Awakenings. I am Nicole Blue Nile, call me Blue, grateful to be here, and I am honored to have my dear sister Christina Courtney here. And we're going to dive in to the journey into truth, releasing old identities. And I just want to set a space to know that this is spirituality and we're moving beyond the religiosity. So it's allowing us to call our power back and to define ourselves and identify in spirit, as spirit, through spirit, and whatever that is to thine own self be true. So let's call it, let's bring it. It's Christina, how you doing?
So good to see you. I'm so honored to do this with you. I'm so excited. Let's do this.
Yeah, no, me too, me too. And it's beautiful how we met through our spiritual community and agape and all of these things. And I'm excited to know. Let's just dive right in. The journey into truth, releasing old identities. What was the first thing that called you into truth? What is truth? What is the calling? How did you begin this journey into truth?
Yeah, great question. So it all started for me actually when I was quite young. My dad was really spiritual. And so I actually had these like glimmers of truth as a young child. And I was so blessed. I remember a conversation very poignantly when I was maybe 7 years old. I was talking with him on the phone, and I remember him telling me, Christina, you're God. You can have anything that you want, but don't tell the kids at school because they'll think that you're crazy.
Wow.
And I was raised by a single mom with four kids. And so he was removed. He wasn't in my life physically much after the age of four when my parents split. But I would have these phone conversations with him where he would give me these little nuggets of wisdom and spiritual truth. But he was still dealing with his own trauma and his addiction and different things. So it was muddled, right? And so I got these little glimmers, but then I also got a little bit of fear-based stuff too.
Yeah.
So it really started by me really kind of like being a closet spiritual, like having this awareness, this understanding, this curiosity, and an exploration of spirituality from a very young age, but also feeling like I couldn't really be public with it. Like I needed to be a closet spiritual. I couldn't tell people what I believed, that we could have anything, be anything, do anything, that we're God. I felt like there was something wrong about that. But I really had it from a young age. And it was really through a series of life experiences that I went through that helped me open up to it and embrace it more and get to the point where I was comfortable being public about it. So, yeah, yeah. What about you? How is it for you?
I love that. Thank you for sharing all that. But similar with I was little and I recognized light orbs and beings and I saw spirit and the as an artist, like I was in dance school, but like I could see energy. And I so that to me, I always asked my mother to get me books. And I was in Sunday school when I met my dad at 8, and he also was struggling with his stuff, and it actually took him and he passed on. And just the truth of like knowing that what I was born into wasn't it. Like
Yes.
I knew there was more. I knew, not because of watching cookie cutter television, but I had a very interesting lifestyle where when I met my dad at 8, my mother's side of the family, like I was raised by my grandparents, my great grandmother, my grandfather, they helped my mother so much. And so I knew that, and my mother was going through her own things. And what she was going through, I was parentified, and I was the one who was really helping her through things. And she always really kind of let me just be myself. You're like, which is a beautiful thing. Now I didn't have much to unlearn, except whatever I brought onto myself, whatever I classed onto. So it was a calling. It was calling from my soul. From I used it to express via music and arts and all that way. But I knew there was more to life, especially when I had near death experiences and I saw the other side.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
When did that happen?
The awakenings. So that happened between 17 to 21 when I was signed really young musically to a record label and toured, and also was a survivor of some stuff. So I had a lot of emotional stuffing happen, and like stuffing where I was a really thin child. But then when I met my father, and he was abusive, and I went through some things, and and then I survived some things, and so I started using food. But then I stopped the food and I started like just kind of with an eating disorder, like because I was touring. And so when I was on tour, they ended up putting some drugs, ecstasy, in the champagne bottles. So that kind of set me off to the races. I didn't know. But all of a sudden I felt free and I felt nothing because I was always feeling, seeing, clear cognizance, clear sense, like feeling people's feelings. So I saw people's energy and the lies. I knew what they were saying was not the truth.
Yes.
And I thought I was crazy. And the world also told me I was crazy. But really, no, I just had some gifts that were turned on more when I came into the world because we all have them. I'm not special. We all have infinite light within us. But it was on really loud. And then all of these trauma situations that I survived weren't kind of, they were initiations. So hence the Molly experience and all that turned into me and end up using drugs. And I had some near death experiences of overdoses. And like the other side, basically seeing my guides and the infinite ascended masters, whoever came to me and basically was like, you just need to learn how to live. And then I found, our teacher, Reverend Michael Beckwith and Iyanla Vanzan and Oprah. And so I started to listen to quantum physics and put all of this stuff in, but I was still survival. I moved to New York from Boston, and then it was like me finding my truth. So it was like a part of the journey, then moving 3,000 miles away to Los Angeles in order to get quiet, to get away from all of the origin dysfunction.
Yeah. Wow. I
So
love
yeah.
that. It's like I feel like we've been friends for such a long time, but I didn't know all of these, aspects of your story, which is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ah, yeah, yeah. I feel like we're so similar because I also had that just that intuitive knowing, right? Like of just knowing that there's something more, knowing that this isn't all it, of being sold this thing, and it's like that inner calling that keeps calling you forward and saying, no, there's more than this. And
Yeah.
it's so interesting. You had that spiritual waking around 17 to your early 20s. I had my first one at 17 as well. And then again in my later 20s, so I was, as a coping mechanism to deal with all of the trauma and dysfunction that I was dealing with in my younger years, I was just determined to get out of it. I was like, I will do whatever I can to like make something of myself, be happy. I need to escape this. Like this, what I'm growing up with, this isn't it.
Right,
And
right.
there was just so much dysfunction and trauma. And my way of coping with it was to be like an overachiever. So I was a parentified child as well. And I was like, okay, well, then I'm going to work really hard. I'm going to get into college. I'm going to do all the things. I need to support myself. And I got emancipated at 17. And then shortly after that, I was diagnosed with a life-threatening illness. Like literally my body just started shutting down. And it was through that experience of almost dying where it was just like, wow, what is life? And like,
Wow.
what are we doing here? It really makes you just reflect, I think, in a way that we don't experience if we're not faced with something like that, whether it's a death of potentially facing a death ourselves or somebody. I've also had, other friends that have that experience when they lose a loved one. It just really
Right.
makes you reflect and question. And I just thought, okay, well, I went into corporate America. I was working in the medical field and I was like doing. And I wound up relapsing again and almost dying again in my late 20s. And then it was like at that point where it was like, no, this is not. I did it the world's way of trying to, fit into the box and, get the 401k and the nice car and like, I felt
Wow.
like I was like checking all of these boxes of what society says makes you successful or makes you happy. And I was like, I check the boxes and I'm not happy or fulfilled. Like, this is not working.
Hello, somebody.
So, yeah, right. And so it's like, okay, well, the journey is not checking the external boxes. It's like, how do we check the internal boxes? Like, what
Mm.
is my soul calling forth? Like, who am I? What are the gifts that I'm uniquely meant to share? What am I meant to do here? And then also being very intuitive like yourself. And again, I, also believe we all have these gifts, but I think because of so much of the dysfunction that I grew up with, I became very like I was such an empath. I was a codependent. I was like could tune into everybody else. I could be the ultimate people pleaser, keep it all together, right? I was the fixer, the everything. And it was like, releasing those identities and being like, I don't need to put on that mask. Like I don't need to do it for everyone else. It was quite literally killing me. It was like, who am I? What am I meant to do? And it was through going through all of those journeys that the spirituality just came out more. It was like, there's
Yeah.
another way to do this. And we both study A Course in Miracles, and one of the favorite
Yes.
things is like the origin story where, they said like there must be a better way. And I feel like the times in my life where things shifted the most is when I, in some way, said there must be a better way. Like doing it like this is it's not working. And then when we're
Yeah.
willing, God can enter. We can receive that divine inspiration and guidance and intuitive wisdom. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's so interesting how our stories are so similar.
Yeah. No, you are heard, seen, and supported. Thank you for sharing all that. And me
Mhm.
too. And it's funny because for anybody listening and like on their beginning of the journey, when that happened to me a few times from 17 to 21, when I was finally hospitalized at 21 for
Mhm.
like 20, for a few weeks, I don't remember. And and then I just got out, went to my mother's house. That's when I work in recovery now in treatment. I would have gone to treatment, but I just went to my mother's house and I detoxed off all the medication they put me on because she was just trying to do her thing and say she's this, and sadly, my mother's mentally ill. God bless her. I see her perfect, whole, and complete,
Yeah.
infinite light. I'm just speaking the truth of my truth and allowing my separation. I had to cut the cord. So what I did was move to New York. And so it was really like it was an awakening. It caused some movement, but I was still very much in that victim mentality, in that survival. And then I went through more music industry things, the trauma that happened in childhood, the assaults from, things and things, surviving things, and then it happened in the music industry. And then it was like, okay, and then I moved to Los Angeles, and then my dad died.
Mhm.
And that's when that was like my uncle died at 16, and that was I wouldn't these awakenings when it's a numbing at first. It was a numbing at 16, it was a numbing at 17 and 20, but the imprint was in there and the awakening was happening, but it was like the ripple effect that caused a little bit of action and change. And then for me to seek, because I started seeking the truths. I've read the Bible and the sacred text and all of them since the beginning of time, like since I was born, and understanding that, wait, this is all translations and people are translating it. Because when I went to Sunday school and I was like, that's not what Jesus was saying, that's not the truth. Like I was the one calling people out, and they were just shut up, silence her, don't talk, don't talk, don't. So taking that and go. So I'm saying like the seeking, but then moving here is when my teachers came in real life. And my first psychic teacher and my first energy work teacher, 16, in Native American church ceremony, sitting in ceremony with the breath, with the medicine, honoring, that was my first awakening. Like
Mhm.
when everything changed and I realized, oh, I probably should stop numbing, because in order for me to heal, like I was told, my teachers were yelling at me. They were like, you got to heal yourself, because what is trying to be birthed through you takes you to be strong, whole, healed, and complete. And I was like, what are you talking about? So that was 17 years ago here in LA. This land helped me find my freedom and find myself, as I had to literally cut the cords and learn energy work to claim
Yeah.
my truth. And that's not my truth. And it's taken 10 years. I'll have 9 years, June 23rd, free of numbing out.
Wow. Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh.
So,
Wow.
everybody just take a breath, release it through a tiny circle, just let it go. It's
Oh,
big stuff, and we get to express it. Something I realize is that the opposite of depression is expression.
mm, truth. Yeah, truth. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing that. I was the same kid in church.
Of course you were.
for a while, but I didn't connect to it. I never connected to God in church. I didn't have that experience, but I went through catechism, and at some point they kept just teaching us this stuff, and I realized at some point they were like, but women can't be pastors. And I was like,
Mm-mm.
mm-mm, we are done. We are done. My inner rebel came in, and I was just like,
Yeah.
we're not doing this anymore. We are not doing this. I will not be spending my time here. And it was like through those experiences of going through that contrast and recognizing, okay, there's truth here, but what they're teaching is not the truth, right?
Yes,
And then it's
exactly.
like through those experiences, like you had with your teachers, where I had my own teachers along my path. And it's like when I started taking the Reiki classes and intuitive development, like I was already intuitive, but then when I was in the classroom setting and I could see myself just blossoming, and I would read tarot cards and be doing energy healing sessions, or and I just had these like awakenings after awakenings. It's like, oh my gosh, this is what it really is. Like, this is the truth. And it's
Yes.
that internal personal experience. It's not that
Yes.
external thing. So, yeah, I so resonate with that. Thank you for sharing.
Well,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank
This is why
you.
we're spiritual sisters on this path.
Right.
Like, how do two people, and I love our contrast from two different walks of life, but yet we find ourselves with the same spiritual callings and wake similar on the path of infinite awakening. I would be in those we all been in our Hogwarts. I was in those psychic schools, and I was doing stuff, and then mirrors the laws of the universe, cause and effect, and the law of assumption. And when we're around like-minded, like-hearted people, the brain and heart coherence allows the body to release, and it allows the resonance of the truth, which leads me to like, what does truth feel like in your body? Because
Yeah.
that's what I had to understand, that, oh, just 2 years ago, I got back in my body after so much healing of all my trainings and my indigenous trainings and honoring this native indigenous land and practicing my indigenous from my that I haven't even been to my countries that my ancestors have given me the power, the blood, when I know the truth and the infinite great creator, when I learn how to tap on the light, that I am the light. And Reiki changed my life. And learning level one, level two, level three, and
Mhm.
becoming a master, a student for life.
Yes.
But there is mastery when you 10,000 hours in study. That's okay.
Yeah.
So she's earned it. She's earned it.
I
But
know.
what does it feel like in our body now? Like, what is it? And do you have access to breathing into the belly and pausing and relaxing the jaw, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the sit bones? I remember when you and I first started getting closer and we were holding space for each other. I was so grateful for you. I am so grateful for you. But sitting on the phone, tapping and crying and releasing, what sacred sistership!
Yes.
So yeah, share with us, like, what does truth feel like in your body now?
Yeah,
And
I
maybe what it did before, you know?
yes. I'm so much more aware of it now. I feel like I'm so much more present with my body. I feel like in my younger years, it's almost like my consciousness was kind of like hovering above my body. I felt like it wasn't safe to be in my body most of the time. I mean, I'm in my body, but I there was so much abuse and trauma. It's like I didn't feel as connected to my body, and that was reflected through either gaining weight or having different physical illnesses. Like I've had some major physical obstacles in my life that are so profound, and I'm so grateful for them now. Like because they were such incredible lessons to teach me to connect with
Yes.
myself, and that the body's always communicating. It's always trying to keep us safe and protect us. It's always, showing us different things that we need to listen to. So I'm grateful to my body, but I'm now, actually able to be more present in my body and to tune in, to question things. And it's almost, I was thinking about it earlier. It feels like I'm now almost like allergic to inauthenticity and allergic to
Yes.
environments that don't feel like they're authentic, safe, of depth. Like my body feels it and I
Yeah.
don't want to be there anymore. And luckily, I've done so much work that I have those boundaries and I don't put myself in those situations. Or if I do, I'm able to correct it and
Yeah.
reflect and be like, huh. my body didn't feel good because the body is always giving us such important information and to recognize like, okay, how am I feeling when I'm around this group of people or in this environment? Like, is my
Yes.
body feeling expansive and safe and relaxed? And every time we're connected, it's like my body relaxes. I feel safe because we've cultivated safe space and
Yes.
authenticity and healing frequencies. And, you know, it's such a beautiful connection that we have. And then there's other environments where because of whatever reason, you know, it doesn't, my body feels like I need to close, need to protect myself. And
Mm.
so just being more aware of that and
Yeah.
recognizing from a spiritual perspective that I'm safe everywhere, right? Like that it doesn't mean that I'm going to put myself in situations that don't feel good, but then also being able to recognize and soothe the body and say like, I got you. Like you're okay. You're okay here. And so yeah, that was a lot, but
No,
uh,
the truth. We're not a lot. We're enough. We're a perfect amount.
yeah.
This is for our true selves. This is for people who are ready to be truthful. Okay? You are seen, heard, and supported, sis, and we're divine reflections. And I'm just grateful because it's also I don't for the audience and everybody listening where there's levels to it
Yes.
because it took me a very long time to think I was safe in my body. And honestly, I'm still in relationship with that as a
Mm,
survivor, as surviving the projects in Boston and New York, and like going from what my mother's father's dysfunction was, God bless them, and we move on, and it's no, I forgive them now, like, and I've gone through so much work to forgive myself, and but to still stand in my truth because me telling my truth pisses them off. But you know what? Honey pie, sugar bunches of oats. We gonna keep telling the truth because expression frees me, and it's my truth. So I digress. I want to make sure that there's no spiritual bypassing here.
yeah.
That's where I love with you. You're so open, but in the ministry classes and the religious, no, we're not part of. I'm not a part of any religious communities, but we. I do go into every room. I am. I was. I've been baptized 3 times, and I would say the truth and know the truth, and even my peers in those rooms were saying we're just speaking there's different paths, some people aren't ready for it, so they're on their journey as far as supporting love is love is love is love is love, and they want to do it silently, not out loud because of certain politics, where I'm like, okay, this is can't be where I am at. That's why I chose to make agape my home, and now it's an ever evolving because God is building something through me, through us, where it's like, and as a practicing Buddhist with all that Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and but I'm also in I love Sufism and Taoism and all. So long story short, it's infinite, great universal spirit, and I can know the difference between the flesh, the trauma, the pain body, that, and then the spirit in me that is untouchable. No harm has happened, never been hurt. But in the beginning of trauma healing, that's really gaslighty.
Yes. Yes, I hear
That's,
you.
you know what? So I love to dive into that freedom of we're on the other side of a lot of things. Some people may be in the beginning, and I'm in the beginning of new things. So there's that. We're human. But that's an important thing to understand. Like, how do we know when it's aligned for me and when it's a moment? So in the beginning, that's why I love, like, I've created something, the 12 steps of energetic sovereignty, because going through the 12 steps communities and all the recovery, there's a disempowerment that happens. I'm not dissing it. I love it. It got me to where I'm at. I'll have 9 years. I wouldn't have done this in my first 2 years. Okay.
Yeah.
As far as releasing, first 5 years, honestly, then I woke up. And then I realized I had to change my entire life because it was a trauma bond. It was my childhood played out in the adulthood. And I woke up. Another awakening that just happened 2 years ago. And so then after EMDR and going through all of the processes of literally taking my power back from every person, place, and thing, I feel safety in my body now. And but there's times where still I clench. So it's
Yeah.
like I am not my conditioning, I am not my coping, I'm not my clenching, but it has to be seen with radical honesty. So it's like I see you, I see you, I see you, and wearing it and allowing it to be there without being changed or lied. And then there's the higher truth of us. So
Yes.
even though, like, I love EFT, even though I feel this way, I still deeply love and accept you. And
Yeah.
there's a part of me that has not been harmed, and we're bringing that identity into the
Yes.
physical realm now.
Yes.
I don't know. What do you think?
Oh my gosh, I love it. I just love you.
I love you. Yes, Sister
And
Circle,
it's
let's go.
yes, yes, yes. And thank you so much for sharing that because I think that that's so important. Just acknowledging I'm sorry, I have two little friends with me.
Yes,
And
fur babies.
then we have
My
some.
baby's running around trying to have me play catch with her, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah, it's that dance between knowing your spiritual truth that you are whole and complete and pure love in God, and there's that part of you that has never been altered, can't be
Right.
harmed, right? But then there's the human experience, and how do we hold the experiences that we go through in this physical realm that feel so painful and real and captivating, and they can just the experiences of those like dark night of the soul, situations that we go through, and then also know who we are in truth. And for me, it's like it's a dance. It's this beautiful dance and making sure that we don't spiritually bypass, that we validate and we meet people where they are. And that's really huge for
Mm,
me in the work that I do with clients is that I'm holding before I get on any client session, I'm always seeing the truth of them. So I'm seeing through the experience that they're having in the physical. So I'm holding on to their truth, but I'm going to meet them where they are. If they're showing up and this is what's happening, then we got to release those emotions, right? Like we got to do the EFT, the healing work in order to clear that so
yep,
that we can get back to the center. We don't want to bypass that because those emotions that are coming up, that's important information. The way that the body is feeling, important information, like your 12 steps of um, like emotional freedom and
yep,
healing. Like we've got to do that work. And I think something that has come up for both of our stories, it seems like, is this journey of peeling away these different identities and like releasing
yes.
and healing and just this process of coming more and more to our authentic truth. And it requires us to let go of the things that aren't us and to let go of
Yes.
those heavy emotions and to process through them. And I think it's so important to have those sacred environments where we can feel fully seen and heard and accepted. And I mean, even I just want to acknowledge you for each time I stop talking and then you're just like, I see you, I hear you. It's like, it's
Aw.
so beautiful. Like, I wish that. And I see you and I hear you and I love you and you are so heard and acknowledged too. And it's like creating those safe spaces for people, that in itself is healing. Like just that presence of showing up for somebody, of letting them know that all of them is welcome and that they are seen. Like, how many of us walk around on this planet not feeling seen, not feeling acknowledged, not feeling like that we matter? And even our closest relationships, I've known so many people that that's their experience. And so, we've gone through these beautiful transformations to getting this point where we're mostly surrounded by people, I would say, well, let me speak for myself. Like I'm mostly surrounded by people that acknowledge me and see the true me because
Yes,
that's
me too.
what I
Same
stand for.
brothers. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, I just wanted to acknowledge that and you. Thank you so much for your presence and your awareness that you bring to your relationships. It's so beautiful and so healing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I received divine reflections. Thank you.
Mm.
I'm grateful because, the world profits off confusion, so when we're waking up, and especially as women knowing our power, and independent doesn't matter, but the feminine of all of us to rise, the gentleness, the lovingness, the wholeness, and allow it to just take shape in a way that is true now. So let's talk about the shedding of the old identities, where I'm like, how was it? Which I know I shared where when I started, when I lost my dad, and recovery was really, I worked through the layers in therapy and 12 steps and shamanic healing and indigenous practices. Like everybody's not on a minister, like, shamanic path. We don't expect that. But like, it started with my thoughts and belief and asking for help. I asked for help. I got help. Boom. I got help. What about you? What about you? And how you do that? How are you releasing the old identity and stepping into this new chosen identity?
Yeah, ditto. Yeah, got help. I can't advocate for getting help enough. I feel like, if we're going through something, one of the best things we can do is get the support that we need. Don't go at it alone. I think the most profound transformational thing for me is getting help, is working with a practitioner on a weekly basis. I mean, I've been doing that since I was like 17. So it started out in therapy, and then I transitioned over to an EFT practitioner coach and just working with somebody opportunity to peel that away, to allow yourself to be seen, to allow yourself to feel safe and authentic. And there's something about that co-regulation too that is just so incredibly healing of, especially when we didn't get that from our parents. Like, love my parents, they're amazing. They've grown so much, but they were dealing with so much when I was a kid. They weren't available
Right.
because they needed to go through their own healing, right? And so for me then later in life to have somebody who could fully see me authentically and help walk me through these things, like so transformational. And then community too, like being in classes and
Yes.
growth and expansion. I mean, that's huge. So yeah, some sort of energy modality, whether it's, Reiki energy healing or EFT, EMDR, like all of these things to
Yeah.
really start to reprogram and then to have that support and that safety is just huge, huge.
Yeah, I completely agree. Thank you for saying the classes because that's when I started yoga back in Boston. And like I was like 20, it was after that whole nervous breakdown experience, but really it was just I was breaking open and thank God like I psychically like protected myself, which I was doing stuff now that I'm in the studies. I was like, how did I know to do that then? It was my soul, like it was like putting salt around the whole house for protection. Like nobody ever like I had no teachers in real life, just spirit. So it's like, oh wow, this is real. This is real. But my yoga was my first, like I went to church, I went to Baptist church, shout out to Morning Star Baptist Church in Boston. And I was christened Greek Orthodox. But like I always knew, I'm like, y'all are not, this is not the frequency. I always knew energy. I was born with that. But then, like you said, the energy leaks, not having boundaries, the people pleasing, the codependency, the over empath. And yoga was the first place I was able to cry because I heated yoga, Bikram yoga in New York, Manhattan. It would be so cold, and I'd go to yoga, and I started crying. I couldn't access my feelings in Boston, but when I was in Boston, I went to martial arts, and I started in this teacher just started karate chopping, Dan yoga, karate. Couldn't speak English, but we spoke energy. I spoke energy with all my Eastern teachers, and they started karate. I just let them. It just felt right. I don't know why. And now I know it's because they were trying to help me clear my solar plexus and turn my power center on because they tried to take it from me as a child. And then luckily, I took my power back and I moved to New York and dove into Bikram yoga. But I was still very drinking and randomly sometimes it was periodic for me because it wasn't like I had too much control, like the self-will of like escaping. I wouldn't do drugs or drink all the time. It was just a party thing and a performance thing. But it was necessary to stop because I was blacking out and I didn't know that was not normal, like drinking and blacking out. I didn't know that wasn't a normal thing, you know? Poor baby. But I'm so grateful because I always knew that spirit was my true self. And then coming into Native American church ceremonies and Chief Marvin Swallow and Infinite, my past lives, so many past lives, and this life, this is not my indigenous land. My indigenous lands of Africa and my grandfather was born in Jamaica. And my
Mm,
mother's side, she was born in Russia, but they're Greek, Italian. So it's like
mm,
returning to my truth beyond the living experience of the people that might have disappointed me in this life and coming into a higher truth and knowing that I always felt like there's so much more and this is my truth and how can I access this, right?
yeah.
So it was like this is my true identity. That's like my first single, like a big single I had was Alter Ego, and I literally in my music video I killed my old self. And this was 2014, and this was right before, this is when I started getting sober. And
Wow.
so it was like my art was always my truth and my duality because I always felt there was higher truth, but I had to clear this physical purification. I needed to purify. And
Yeah.
then when I found out when I was in Native American church ceremony and he was like, you're a two spirit. And I was like, oh, because I was like, look, I'm queer. I'm in here. Are you going to be praying the gay away? Like, I've been that person. I don't care who you are. I'm like, no, because love is love. And I just want to know, Chief, Chief. And he's like, if you were not telling the truth, it would be a problem. But I see it. You are a true two spirit. So blessings. And I was like, and I felt so seen. And my whole body was like, that's what's been going on with me my whole life.
Yeah.
So this true
Uh,
awakening began.
oh, Oh, thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Oh, I love that. I see you.
And for anybody listening, if you're getting uncomfortable and if like this is meant to bring up stuff, so it's just like allow the body to be open. A lot of people, sadly avoid things and we all have that mirror. So like me avoiding tedious business tasks and building my business, like where does my avoidance? That's I'm over my capacity for love is infinite. And it's just about the balance of us balancing our inners out and without moralizing. There's no right or wrong. Like I always like, there's no right or left. There's like I get to identify who I am now. So I think we can start to close up with that where it's like I'm naming who I am now because I am not what happened to me. I am not the pain, the trauma, the addiction, the ex, the boom, the divorce, that none of that is me. Mom, dad, none of that is me. I am this infinite perfect newborn child, the spirit that came in here with this light. And it's about me remembering my light and only my higher power identifies me. That is the one truth, one cause, one mind, and that mind is my mind now. And thank goodness for what we stand on, the teachers we stand on, and the lineage we stand on. So we found I found I think I could say we, but I speak for myself, but we found our higher power in the spiritual awakening in the seeming breaking, the breaking open, because we don't break. The
Yes.
spirit never breaks.
Yes. Yes. The identity that breaks, right? But our truth is consistent, is constant. It's Course in Miracles lesson. I am as God created me. Like I am as God created me. Like that is who I am. Like and just staying true to that one truth. Yeah. Oh,
Mm, thank you
love it.
for bringing that in. So now it's like to complete and I'm writing my identity. Then shout out to Pastor Teray Roberts, who's my brother, and he's leading a big one church that was my church. And it's just now it's just different paths where if you think that there's only one way, there's infinite ways. That's my truth, and I know it. So
Mhm.
God bless everybody in infinite respect and reverence. And then there's this moment like the call, like he has this amazing like the identity statement, and I've been going, he helped me really get into that, like every morning create your identity statement and the declaration of who am I being,
I
who
love
am I
that.
being. And I've been working on my new one because I made one
Mm,
5 years ago, 6 years ago. And then this last 2 years been settling into this body for the first time that I was used to be disassociated and even separating from attempts at things, but it just wasn't aligned because of trauma bonding.
yeah.
And then coming out of it and being free and completely truth in myself, in my body, in my frequency. And now it's like, okay, who am I being now? Because I identify myself. I don't even identify as an addict alcoholic no more because drugs and alcohol weren't my problem. I'm free of drugs. I'm free of alcohol. I'm free. And now, but trauma recovery, I
Mm,
am realizing, I'm healing things. But I know that the infinite spirit and the great creator, that words are things. So I now get to be like, yeah, I'm in healing from trauma. Maybe we'll see for how long, it's probably a calling because it's mom, dad. It's the origin stuff. It's generational healing. So
yes.
releasing that and turning it into generational healing, but the honesty part. The honesty part. Now I don't have to drink, use, and act out about it. Now I have my practice,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, yeah, because it's just a coping mechanism anyways,
That
right?
part.
And
Yeah.
when we don't need a coping mechanism, they can fall away and it's not the truth of who you are, right?
Right.
It's how we got through difficult things. So, oh, yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that you're not identifying. And I love that idea also of just, creating a new identity every day. And I mean, how powerful is that? And I've been listening to a lot of Neville Goddard lately on his
Yes, always. Me too.
law of assumption and just being like, okay, I get to decide. In every moment, I get to decide. And then
And
who
but
do
safety warning, like we don't gaslight. This is me at 9 years. The first 2 years, absolutely not. I had to identify in that way to change my brain
I
because
agree?
the whole 12 steps is a spiritual mind treatment. Like Ernest Holmes worked with Bill and Bob to create the AA program. I digress. I just
Yeah.
wanted to throw that caveat in there because don't nobody that's new be like, oh, I'm cured, I'm healed. No, I sponsor people and I let them know my first 7, 8 years. This is in my ninth year that I'm having this awakening. And to thine own self be true. There's a lot of stigmatism in choosing the path, but baby, we are in the age of the Aquarius now. So peace to the boomers. Peace, peace, peace to the boomers. Love you, love, 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 love. But that era of thinking is collapsed and it's burning to the ground as we speak. So let's declare together as we come into and about the identity and spirit and releasing the old identity and coming into the spiritual awakening. This is an ever growing conversation and we will come back again. But I just want us to allow yourself now. What are you declaring now for yourself? And if you could share with anything, impart something on someone suffering right now and not even know where to begin, what would you tell them?
What a great question. I would say to pray and don't think that you need to do it right. There's no right way. Just ask God for help. Ask divinity, ask your higher self, because this is we have free will. And unless we ask, and the universe always wants to support us. This is a supportive, loving universe, and there are resources, there are mentors, there's help available. God is always wanting to get through and live its life as you, as the divine love and light that you are, and help support with anything that we're going through. And so, no matter what we're going through, the most important thing I have ever done when I'm in that moment is just ask for help. And it can be like, God, I need help. I don't know how to do this. I'm struggling, whatever it is, right? Or you can do a 6 step affirmative prayer. Like you can, however you need to do it. But there are some times in my life where I didn't know about different prayer technologies and I just asked God for help and was willing to see things differently. I was willing to be helped. I was willing to know that there's a possible solution here. I don't see it.
Come
And
on.
I'm the solution, right? It wasn't able to come through me at that moment, but through being open and asking God for help, through just an authentic prayer of just a willingness to see it differently, I've always been guided to a solution, to a person, to a book, to an answer. Sometimes it was a song on the radio, sometimes it was a person or a class. And literally every time in my life that I've gone through something difficult and I've just, had one of those like on your knees moment, they call it, which is just like, I don't know what to do. And you just surrender in prayer and just say, I don't know what to do. But
Mm.
there is an intelligence that has the answer and that does know what to do. And just be willing to receive that and be open to it, openness to that, right? And just releasing the idea that we have to have all the answers, like they can come in so many different remarkable ways. And just that openness and that willingness is just, for me, that's been so key. So yeah, yeah.
Bars, bars, gems. Thank you. You're helping me. I love that.
Yay. What
Yo,
about you? Yeah. Good for you.
there's an acronym that I learned in recovery, like you said, the how. How do we do this? Honesty, openness, and willingness. You said it.
Mhm.
You said it literally. And that's the first code. That's the first step. Ag Acknowledgement, awareness, honesty, allowing myself to have radical self-awareness, to have a moment to be like, wait, I can't, you can, help me.
Yes.
I can't, we can't.
Mm,
We can, I can't, we can, help me. And I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you. And then
yeah.
I'm gonna let them and let them do what they do. Let it learn how to practice mindfulness, learn how to breathe, learn how to pause. Pause was the first thing I had to really, really learn as a recovering East Coaster. 28 years of my life in the East Coast, 27, whatever it was. And allowing that conditioning. I am not my conditioning. I am not my programming, but we have to unpack it. I have to. You don't got to do it. We have free will. You do what you want to do, everybody. I'm sharing that I had to unpack it because just like Toni Morrison, you got to take off those weights if you want to fly. You got to take off those baggages if you want to live. We got to let go of that ish in
Yeah.
order to truly express what I was born to express in this physical realm without
Yeah.
the trauma body and the pain and the story. So right now for me, I'm telling a new story. I'm
Mm,
telling a new story, Christina, and I have chills because for so long, it was what it was for justified reasons. And that's what I had to learn. Get help, Go listen in on a 12-step program. There's so much stigmatizing with it because the ego and the world just wants to keep you small and trapped. But it's revolutionary. And I love ACA, which is Adult Children of Dysfunctional Families, which I feel like everybody in America need. So, and it's allowing me to be in a community to just be honest, practice some spiritual principles, learn the qualities, practice and study my mind body connection. Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. David Hawkins, Dr. Carl Jung. The doctors, these revolutionary paths that, like you said, these books, but then I dove deeply in it and I started practicing it on myself. And then I became a practitioner because I got obsessed with transforming myself. I was like, yo, if I can do this, yo, y'all could do this too. But I ain't doing it for you though. You want to come to me? People always want me to be their psychic, be their this. I'm like, no, this ain't that, baby. You're activating your power, your intuition. You're gonna get clear. And I'll hold space to help you wake yourself up.
Yes. Hmm.
And don't
Yeah.
hook on to me. Let's respect Mother Earth. Allow us to have a relationship with the earth again, respect it. It's a living, beautiful, breathing thing. And we are the earth. What we do to ourselves, we do to the earth. And then infinite, great, universal spirit.
Yeah.
And figure out whatever I'm going to define that as. To thine own self be true. Don't cut the cords to all these people telling you who to believe, what to do. Oh my God, people pleasing almost killed me. Like what?
Yeah.
Like you said in the beginning, to bring it back, I came out the closet spiritually. Had to come. I was never in the closet, I guess. I didn't even know, but I'm an 80s baby until I saw the L word. I didn't know that girls like me could be lesbians or like girls because it was always like I'm very androgynous. But
Mm.
and when I came out the closet, I didn't even know that my family was like, that's why they shunned me too, because I was gay. I didn't even know that till like 2 years ago because I'm that just, no one would do that. Oh my God, like love is love.
Mm.
But that was easy for me because I was like, love, that was never like, y'all are tripping. I know that it's not spirit, it's not creator. Creator wants me to love exactly how I'm supposed to love. He's experiencing this love through me.
Yes.
But that's a different time. Y'all believe what you want. That's not my truth. Bye. Bye. Not bye. Bye. Bye, double entendre. But goodbye. What I am allowing myself to do is come out spiritually as a minister because I knew this since I was a baby, since I was 16, written up as DMX. Rest in peace, DMX, as he was too. All of us, all of the rappers. But I had to get sober, and it's something really deep and stepping out of the ego and wanting to be a part of the cool crowd.
Yeah.
I literally, God bless it, but it's not for me. And going on that path, doing it and realizing, baby, this is not sustainable.
Mm.
Wake up. You gonna stay here? My body was hurting. I gained weight, the body pain. My body told me, literally, God told me, move out, spoke to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Crazy. So I digress. I share that to say, get honest, get transparent, get free, period.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And I love also, if I can just add one more thing that you already
Yeah, of course.
about not spiritually bypassing, and I think it's so important to just let ourselves be where we are. I just speaking for myself, I know I've put myself through so much by wishing that I was somewhere else or thinking that I needed to be farther along. And it's like if we can just give ourselves more grace and more compassion, and some of the things that we shared today, you're not there yet, right? Maybe you're on day 2 of sobriety.
Right.
It's like some of the things we're talking about, year 9. It's like allowing ourselves to be exactly where we are. We don't need to be anywhere else. We don't need to judge ourselves against what other people are doing, like this whole comparison thing, like just releasing all of that. And that's when we step into like true, authentic self-love. It's like, can we really love ourselves for where we are today? Can I choose to let it be okay that this is where I am today, that I'm still working through things, that I've been on this spiritual journey for 20 plus years and I'm still
Wow.
learning things? And it's like that's something that I need to still remind myself is that, like, yeah, I have been doing this for such a long time, and there's still things that I'm continuing to heal and learn through and grow through and continue to shed and release, and just letting that be okay that I'm not at the finish line. Like I've come so far and I'm so far, so sorry, so proud of all the things that I've done and I honor that, but also just acknowledging like we are where we are. And, wherever you're finding yourself in the journey, to whoever is listening this, just giving yourself compassion because we're all at those different points, and there's no judgment, just there's, releasing the judgment, just giving yourself self-love and grace and compassion and just meeting ourselves where we are. I think that's been something that's really, really been just so therapeutic for me. The more that I do that, it's like
Yeah.
it speeds up too. So,
Yeah. Ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Lucy loves it too. She said, "Yay!" Oh, yes, she came and cuddled me. Thank you
yeah.
for saying that and adding that because it's very important. And both of us are practitioners and we have so much going on. And I'm so excited that we're going to be collaborating. So we'll put all our info in the show notes if you feel called. We've talked a lot about EFT, which is emotional freedom technique. And both of us are practitioners of that. And allow yourself to feel the call and pick up the phone or text or DM or whatever it is that you got to do to allow yourself to take that step, to step out of the box and maybe the tiny circle that you're in right now and create a new ecosystem. That's what an ecosystem of love, of community, of the
Yeah.
holistic. And all we got to do is step out of the box. So thank you for this. Thank you for your yes. Thank you for the spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, those the holistic intelligence that you have brought and that we bring and the revolutionary awakenings because it is revolutionary to be alive, to be a survivor, to a miracle is literally just a change in perception.
Yes. Amen.
So thank
Mhm.
you so much. And
Mhm.
yeah, do you want to tell them where they can find you or anything else you want to say before we get hop off?
Yeah, I'm just so grateful to you. Thank you so much. I just love you so much. I'm so grateful for our time together, our connection, our similar paths. It's just so beautiful. It's such an honor. And yeah, we can put it in the show notes, but
Yeah.
the email is Christina at ChristinaBCourtney.com. And yeah, I'm just here to shed the love and support in whatever way we feel called. So I'm just sending lots of love to everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes.
I love you.
Infinite love, and I'm just seeing us all perfect, whole, and complete, and allowing the inner sanctuary, the truth, to radiate. Radiate your light. Allow it to be your truth. Don't let this world pull you down. You can't dim my light. They can't dim our light. They can't shut our light out unless you let them. So don't let them. Take your power back. Take your mind back. And you know me, I'm rootedinpowerhealing.com, at Rooted in Power Healing on social media, also at Blue Nile World. Lots of events coming up in person in Los Angeles area and as well workshops online starting. I'm starting the 12 steps of energetic sovereignty, energetic healing, and we're going to do 6 weeks and that's going to start in the spring equinox. So let's get it, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, you are not alone. There's an infinite spirit within. Tap into it, breathe into it, and trust. Take the first step. Call someone before you ever make a mistake that is going to be life lasting, okay? Don't do that. This too shall pass. Peace.